Oh, it's you. Come on in. Welcome to the Scumm Bar. Welcome to the Scumm Bar Podcast, where we talk movies, video games, pop culture, pincushions, and everything in between. I am your host, Mattbrush, and with me this afternoon is a very special someone I'd like you to meet. His name is... That's his name. It's a little hard to pronounce, but if you spoke it in English, it would sound like this.
Anth0z.
That's it! That's it perfectly.
Hey. Hey
How you doing, Anth0z?
I need water.
Water, apparently. It sounds like it. Water. Anth0z, are you ready to hear a pirate joke?
Probably.
Yeah, I feel like you say that every time.
No, I usually say usually.
Most definitely is what I want to hear.
Cool. Well, most probably.
Captain is what I want to hear.
Arr.
What would you call a pirate with no eye?
I want to get this. Patches.
You might. You would also call him a prate.
Huh?
You would call him a prate.
What does that mean?
You may need to mull that one over a little bit. It'll come to you.
I get it. Okay, cool.
I like it.
Thank you.
Okay. And we are going to move on to Ye Old News.
All right.
The special part of our show where we talk about all things news.
News.
So as you may have guessed, our episode title is, what's it called? E3
something
2019.
about E3. Yeah.
That's the thing.
ET.
Yeah. It's variable, common video game show, and then plus variable of current year. That's what the name is.
Is that the formula for... Oh, I see.
That's how we make our titles, our names. Yeah.
Cool.
And so we're actually going to leave that for our topics, but for the time being, let's talk about other ye old news going on around the spectrum of news.
Sure. So I think, you mentioned that I didn't even realize that it came out, but the Frozen 2 official trailer came out yesterday.
Frozone. I haven't actually I haven't seen the trailer yet.
I haven't saw it.
I haven't saw it. I saw something about, what's the one? Elsa? She was like swimming underwater and like looking up, and she saw a horse, and the horse is like underwater with her, and I think she touched the horse, and then it like blew up into like a bunch of like ice shards, and I went, whoa, ice horse.
Cool. Wait. So that was in the trailer.
That was in the trailer at some moment, because you know when you scroll past on YouTube and it shows you a bit of like what the video's got in it.
Oh yeah.
That's what happened. So it showed me that scene. I went, whoa, but I didn't watch the trailer.
Okay.
But
so for what you did see, what do you think?
Oh God, I don't know. I don't think about Frozen? Yeah, I don't think about Frozen at all.
And yet you had a Mr.
I really
Freeze
liked
today.
the first one when it came out, but I've just kind of forgotten about it now, and I honestly didn't really want a sequel. I just kind of wanted to leave it the way it was. So
yeah, I think it was fine the way it was. It could have totally ended just after the first movie.
It did not warrant a second one. I mean, unless the story's good, but I don't think it will be.
Right.
I mean, as most Disney sequels go, it'll probably be fairly good. A lot of people will say it's just as good as the first, but then over time, all you really think about is the first. Like Finding Dory.
Right.
Or Monsters University. Yeah. People forget they exist.
And Back to the Future 3.
And Wall-D.
And 3 ninjas kick back.
And 4 ninjas kick front.
Did you ever watch the Three Ninjas movies?
No.
Have you heard of them?
No.
Oh man, I love those as a kid. Those are great.
Searching it up.
Please.
3 ninjas kick back.
Three Ninjas Kick Back was it was like the last movie where they go to Japan, but there were two movies before that. So there was just 3 ninjas, and it's basically like these 3 kids that are raised by their grandpa, who is like a ninja. So he trains them as like boy ninjas, but like not to be used like in reality, but just kind of like for like discipline and all that kind of stuff. I think what happens, the grandpa or the kid's parents or somebody gets kidnapped, and so the kids pretty much go on an adventure using their ninja skills to like get the grandpa back or to like save the grandpa. I think that's what it is.
Wow.
And
I'm looking it up, and I've never even heard
you might
of
recognize
this.
one of the actors from Three Ninjas Kick Back. He was an Asian man who was definitely in some other like mainstream like primetime TV, and I think he had some other movie roles too. I can look him up, but I feel like we've gone so far off from our news topic.
No, this is clearly about Frozen. We just want to know who played the kid in Three Ninjas Kickback. And then we'll know if Frozen 2 is a good enough movie to watch or not.
Oh, here we go. Sab Shimono? Okay. You
Shimono.
should probably... I think you would recognize this guy. How do I chat you? Chat you up. There you are.
Chat you up. Chat you up, baby.
Chat Chewbacca. Scumm Bar.
Sab Shimono. He's from Waterworld. He's from Presumed Innocent. He's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, in the third one, he also plays like a feudal lord in Japan in that one.
Feudal Lord. Feudal Lord. Feudal Lord. Okay, well, that's Frozen 2.
Great, because that's definitely worth talking about. So
moving on. Anything else going on?
Yeah.
Mia.
What just came out recently? Oh, Aladdin came out recently.
Aladdin. The Tale of Saladin.
I don't know how well that's doing. But it looked like more of a. I think we talked a little bit about it, right? It looked more of like a musical than it did.
It's one of those things. Yeah, I thought I was going to be bothered by it a lot when I first saw the trailers. And then like that last trailer came out and I was like, you know what? I'm not even bothered by it. I'm not excited to go see it. Like I won't see it in theaters, but I'm not like mad about it. It just is what it is. Yeah. And I'm just going to let it be. I'll probably end up watching it on Netflix at some point, but I just don't really care about it right now.
Okay. Well, on IMDb, so I tend to be pretty in line with IMDb's ratings, and Aladdin was given 7.4, which is like, for me, that's watchable. That's a watchable movie in theaters. Like I would probably be happy to pay for it.
What did they give the new Godzilla?
Is Godzilla out? Oh yeah, it is out.
King of the Monsters.
6.7. Yeah. So usually
a friend of mine worked on the film, and he was not all that excited about it.
Oh, that's too bad. What did he do? What was his role?
Special effects.
Like all of the special effects?
Every of the effects. He did them all. Yeah. Cool. To get the Godzilla walk, he had to walk around and do the strut. The Godzilla strut.
Did the God strut.
And then every now and then he'd look up at the sky and go... and then do the strut.
And do the strut. It's called the Zills Pills.
The Zills Pills?
Well, speaking of X...
Yep.
Another movie that came out recently. X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Whoa, good segue.
Thank you.
How was that movie?
I didn't watch it yet, and I'm still gonna watch it in theaters once my friends find some time to watch it. Kind of just doing it out of like loyal obligation or moral obligation. Whatever.
I'm so done with it. After Apocalypse, I don't really want to watch more X-Men. You know?
Yeah.
I really like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah.
That'd have been funny if I said something else.
I really like Hugh Jackman in
as
Les Mis.
Cyclops.
Yeah.
But no, I like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and I really like James McAvoy and Fassbender. That's about it. And I feel like, I honestly think if you ripped out those three actors and just canned the rest of the series and then just threw them back into a new X-Men with Disney, that no one would complain. Like, I honestly feel like everyone would go, yep, that's about right. Yeah, okay. We'd all be fine with that. So, yeah. I don't know. Personally, I'm not. I didn't like Apocalypse, and that one was already building up to the whole Jean Grey thing and the Phoenix Rising. So I'm not. I just didn't care. So
yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'll probably still watch it, but I believe this X-Men movie is or got the lowest
Good.
Lowest debut in like, X-Men history or something like that. I don't know.
Well, it did compete with Godzilla, King of the Monsters. So
with his zill spills.
So I don't know. He's truly king around here.
Yeah.
So
King versus Phoenix. I think I'd watch that.
well, I've always said I'd love it if the Godzilla movies all tied into the Marvel movies. Speaking of
space.
Yes. Speaking of crap,
movies.
What's it called? Star
Lord.
Lander Clover. What's
Whoa.
it called? There's a movie that I know nothing about that maybe you can enlighten me on. And I think it's a Superman movie and it's like out right now.
What's
it called? And like
shoot.
It came out of nowhere. I feel like it's called Starland or Cloverland or Cluster Bomb or
I know what you're talking about, and
what is that called?
it's not actually Superman, but it's like a similar archetype character. Similar to Superman.
Brightburn. So what is Brightburn?
I don't know. Okay, I haven't seen it, but I think it's about it's a kid who was born pretty much like, kind of like on
it's
like
anti-Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I thought it was like a retelling of Superman. I was like, how did this fly under the radar so much? But like, I
was
saw,
confused about
like,
that same thing too.
Poster, and I thought it was Superman.
Any article that I saw that that talked about Brightburn also referenced Superman, and so I thought the exact same thing. Like, is this actually like continuity that I've never heard of? And
yeah, exactly.
Then I got interested.
Okay.
And then
that makes sense. So that's out now. How'd that do on IMDb?
Well,
pretty much this is what we do. We pull out the paper. We go. We go. How did these things do? Okay, let's just turn the page here. How'd that one do? Oh, it did pretty good. Good.
Well, you know, we're doing it for the people because this is what people would do.
They can't read, so we have to read to them.
Brightburn got 6.5.
Oh. So it's as good as Godzilla, King of the Monsters!
It's almost as good, and it's better That's such a good sound. Do you practice that?
Actually, no. But it doesn't sound anything like Godzilla. It sounds like a pterodactyl dying. Or a baby pterodactyl living.
Still, I mean, like, I'd say that's at least cause for that can warrant you going to voice acting.
You should see a doctor.
Yeah, you should get your throat checked out. There's something in there. Yeah, so it did better than, well, on IMDb it did better than Dark Phoenix, but I don't know about the actual box office stats.
Okay. All right, you know what? We spent 20 minutes talking about jargon. Let's talk about the real thing at hand.
The scum.
That's right, Anth0z. That's right. We're going to bring it into the new topic. This is our special topic of the hour, and as you know, it's called...
Special Topic Hour Time.
Special Topic Hour Time. And this time on Special Topic Time, we're talking about E3 2019. E.T. Extraterrestrial. That little guy's come home to play some games with us, and we want to make sure that you send him home happy this time.
Yep. Sorry, what does E3 stand for again?
Entertainment. No. What is it? Expo Entertainment. Oh, yeah, it's Entertainment Expo.
Entering the entertainment entities.
Electronic Entertainment Expo. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
We were close.
Oh, I knew that. Actually... About the only thing I knew about E3 this year was I got an email from E3 being like, better get your tickets now. And the first thing I thought of was, wow, E3's gotten a little desperate.
Well, yeah, you know why? It's because like all the people that, or all the companies that know that they can, that they have enough pull that they can just have their own E3 event. They don't have to.
Oh, like Borderlands and all that, or Bethesda. I mean.
Yeah, Bethesda, exactly. Like they can just have their own E3. They don't have to. Worry about it, right? So,
sorry, I didn't mean Borderlands being made by Bethesda. That sounded weird. I meant like Bethesda is what I meant to say, not Borderlands.
Yeah.
I think, but Borderlands is 2K. Anyways, but I agree with you there. And Yeah, like things like packs are a lot more popular and all that, and prices of tickets have gone down. So because of that, I think things like E3, which used to be very exclusive, are now just like, I think they're hurting. And was there one year Nintendo barely went? They like showed off Breath of the Wild, and that was it. I think they had demo stations for Breath of the Wild like 2 years ago, and like that was it. They didn't even bring a game or anything. Because they have their Nintendo Directs, so they didn't need to do anything at all.
Exactly. They've got their own Direct. Xbox has their own E3 segment or section. Sony, I don't know what they're doing. Because
Sony normally knocks it out of the park. They're not always amazing, but they're usually pretty good with their E3s. They like to make a spectacle out of it and kind of own E3 as much as they can.
Yeah.
Instead of talking about specs and tech and stuff, Sony seems to usually try to make it like an event or a night or a show so that everyone feels like they're there to see all the newest exciting hype.
Yeah.
While Xbox usually tries to go for more the strategy of tech and specs and go like, this is why our console is good, is because it hits all these numbers. Who's to say which one's better or worse, but I have to say I like Sony's show better.
Right.
I think it's better. It's more entertaining for me as just a viewer. And then Nintendo usually has some kind of weird, quirky stuff, but they've gotten better over the years too. So
yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned how like Sony PlayStation, when they do their E3, that they put on like some really big show, and like that's kind of what gets you involved or like wanting to watch more. And this year they didn't do anything, from what I understand.
Really?
Do you remember? I think.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I should just say beforehand though, I have not seen this E3 at all. So actually, we should have said that at the beginning. Anth0z has watched this E3. I don't know if you watch all of it. I think you just watched
I've
videos.
only seen portions, like some highlights here and there, and read a couple of recaps quickly.
Typically, I watch them, but I've missed this year's. I didn't even know it was out, and I haven't really been up to snuff with video games lately, so I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. So I'm going to go in blind for like the first time ever, and I think it's going to be kind of fun. So
sweet. Well, if anything, I found that E3, at least over the past few years, it kind of just they're just showing some more development that they've had from the previous E3. So, like, for example, Death Stranding. Like, now there's more footage of that. When they had released some footage of it last E3, and I think the E3 before that, like maybe 2 E3s ago, was like a teaser. And then last E3 was actually showing some cinematics. And then now, recently, we've been able to see some game footage of it. So it's kind of just, I mean, obviously, it's a slow process to put together these games because there's a lot that goes into it. Stories, getting the actors in to do the CGI filming and, or not.
Actually, I think it was 3 years ago we got a teaser.
Oh, was it?
2 years ago, we got a cinematic teaser or cinematic trailer. It's Hideo Kojima, so it's always like a trailer.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, we got like a trailer. Last year, we got a gameplay cinematic trailer. So last year, because I was aware of him, the main character now was like delivering packages and parcels and stuff. We saw a trailer last year of him like moving with packages and stuff like that, and we found out you're kind of a delivery man.
For Norman Reedus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we found out you're kind of like a delivery guy in the game, and so that's when everyone's like, oh my god, that's what the gameplay is. Like, it's moving from place to place with delivery objects, it seems, and trying to survive, maybe. Don't know if the's combat or anything like that. I don't know.
Yeah, there is combat. But, so we've seen that recently. Like
okay, so the new trailer is probably showing the actual mechanics now, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's more than just moving and walking around. I think he pulled out a ladder in the trailer, like last year. He pulled out like a ladder and like climbed up a ladder, and then he like was going to like a snowy area, and then he was hiding from like ghost demons at another time. But they never did any combat. So
right, yeah. So they did show some combat because it's not just him against those like scary ghosty demony people, but it's also like against other humans.
Okay. And
I can't remember exactly why, but they did at least. I mean, I don't know if they mentioned this before, but at least they referenced that little baby that he carries with him, like in his little satchel in front of him. So apparently they're called bridge babies, and I guess what they do is they're like having those babies around is what helps you see that those ghosts are nearby for whatever reason. So without the baby, you'd be going literally blind, like you can't see what's around you, like those ghost things.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah. So
I think that they sort of alluded to that a few times in the last trailers, but that wasn't really answered. But okay.
Yeah. But anyways, I was going to mention that this year, so Sony didn't take part in E3, whereas, so they had in the previous years, and I can't remember if I had a chance to bring you to the. Did we go to one of the events at Cineplex where they actually showed the whole E3?
No, we never did. I always wanted to go to one of those, but we never did.
Oh, okay.
Last year, I saw E3. I believe I had like a special event at my home.
Oh, okay.
Well, special event, lonely little me on the couch. But no, I had like a dinner already and got and stuff. And my girlfriend and I sat there on the couch and watched the whole thing.
Right. Okay.
But no, sorry, just hold on. I was just thinking to structure this whole thing, it'd be best if we went company by company.
Sure.
Just for me so I can categorize it better.
Yeah.
So let's just say we're starting with Sony. But so you're saying they didn't go to E3 at all.
Yeah.
So they just didn't even have... Normally on the Sunday, Nintendo does something. On the Monday, Xbox does their own conference. And then Sony ends it on the Tuesday. And then... Or that's not even necessarily true, actually. Sony just normally ends it maybe on the Wednesday or so. But then there's like the Ubisoft and there's also the... Activision, Ubisoft and Activision conferences are on Monday or Tuesday, and then Xbox is on the Monday or the Tuesday, I think.
Right.
And then Sony closes it off on the Tuesday or the Wednesday. I believe that's how it normally goes. But so Sony wasn't there at all?
Sony wasn't there at all. No. From what I understand, they had announced last year that they already weren't going to be a part of E3 this year.
Okay, I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure why, but I suspect it's just because they feel like with their reach that they can just do their own separate thing, and that's what I was trying to say earlier.
Well, they do the PlayStation Experience, don't they?
Well, exactly. That's what I mean, right? Because having the experience means like that they already know that they've got this reach that they can have on their own. They don't really have to rely on the expo itself.
It's probably that, and also a bit of the fact that there's so much PlayStation 5 development in the works, not just the console but the games as well. That they don't get me wrong, they have a lot they could show off, I'm sure, at E3. But at the same time, they probably want to hold on to some of those cards because they're not sure what's going to be delayed or what's going to need to be a launch console kind of thing for a PlayStation 5 sizzle reel and stuff like that. So yeah, they probably have to play their cards safely. So they're just looking at it as, do we just show the same old stuff and people might make fun of us or think that we're out of ideas, or do we just not go and then people think we're hiding something, which is a much better way to go in my opinion. So yeah, that was probably a good move. But I have to say I'm a little sad though. I really like the PlayStation events. I think they're fun. Yeah,
me too. I was really looking forward to it. I was checking back every once in a while, like checking their blog to see are they going to announce they're actually going to be part of the
that'd be crazy
event, because like it's just I like and actually I realized that I think I'm late to the game of this whole viewing party thing, because I'm sure viewing parties have been like a big hit since, I don't know, like this series finale of Friends or something like that, or even before that, but like I've only since begun to try to get in on it. So for example, I told you, I think it was last week or the week before, that my fiance and I wanted to go to the viewing party for Game of Thrones, like the series finale. We recently been like, we don't watch NBA, but because Toronto Raptors, like they're the only Canadian team in the finals, and it's I think they haven't been. This is like the first time that a Canadian team has even made it, like since their inception, which is like 24 years ago.
Wow.
And so yeah, like Cineplex, some of the smaller Cineplex theaters around Canada, they're actually having viewing parties as well. So it's free to just go to the theater and watch the game. So we've been doing that, which is really cool, and we wanna find some other.
That'd be cool. I would totally do that.
Yeah, right.
The theaters where I'm at now wouldn't do that, unfortunately. They have those opera events. When like they do opera at the theater or whatever.
Like live opera?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like it's not Cineplex, but the other one, Landmark.
Like
Landmark Cinemas, they have some kind of deal with the opera houses, and they'll like every single Landmark theater has like one on Sundays they'll do opera.
Oh, cool.
So anyway, so they're like, it's mandatory they have it, so they have it. I'm sure no one goes, but it's mandatory they have it.
Oh, before I forget,
but they don't do the events.
The VSO pops. I don't know if you're going to be in Vancouver anytime around August 18th, but at UBC, the VSO Pops are going to do an orchestra / choir, like a Disney Marvel concert night. So they'll be doing live themes from like Thor, Iron Man, Avengers, Captain America, and then some Disney stuff like Hercules, and I think maybe Little Mermaid or something.
That sounds like my event.
Yeah,
oh my
I think
gosh.
it's going to be fun.
I gotta go to that.
Tickets are coming out this Friday.
Really?
Yeah, so just look up VSO Pops August 18th orchestra movie night or whatever, something like that. I can pass you the link once I find it.
That sounds good. Yep.
Did you find it?
Give me all of that.
Okay.
No, I haven't found it yet, but I did see they're doing Harry Potter and Half-Blood Prince though in concert.
Oh yeah, that's next week or this coming. No, that's this weekend.
I'm gonna have to look at this later. There's so many cool things I'm just looking at right now. Oh my gosh. Oh god. Okay, I gotta stop looking. Okay, I'm not looking anymore.
Too many things.
The Vancouver Symphony Orchestra. I don't know if we ever said that, but that's what that was.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what they're called.
Yeah, so I guess we're done with Sony, which is weird. Wait, but you said there's a Death Stranding trailer, but Death Stranding is exclusive to PlayStation.
I'm just talking about recently. I think it.
So some of the companies may have released a gameplay trailer to go alongside with the E3 hype?
Yeah, they must have, because I think that trailer came out a week or so ago.
Okay, so Death Stranding. I'm trying to think of another PlayStation exclusive. Did that biker one, the biker one with the zombies, did that come out?
I feel like I saw another trailer that just seemed exactly what I saw last year.
Yeah, it's been doing the same thing since the launch of PS4. It's just looking the exact same. It hasn't changed at all.
Yeah. So
Last of Us, did they come out with a trailer?
I haven't seen no, because I think most of my time was spent focusing on Nintendo, because that's
which is good. I definitely want to get to the Nintendo one for sure.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get all the PlayStation stuff out of the way if there's anything. So it sounds like there's not enough PlayStation stuff though that's really noteworthy.
Xbox. Well, I was gonna mention this it'll segue anyway, because the things that I did want to mention about PlayStation are related to Xbox, because the release for these games are for both platforms and a couple others. But specifically, so the Final Fantasy VII remake has gotten a release date, which is March 3rd, 2020. So I think people are going to be really stoked.
I never thought I'd actually see a release date for that. I honestly thought that would never come out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they talked about it for so long, and I think inch by inch they would show a little bit more about the progression of the development. Now it is starting to look more like a complete game. Still some things to work on, obviously. Like I think some of the trailers showed some pixelated bits, not completely pixelated, but you can tell it's a little bit choppy or grainy. Like it's not full 4K or HD or anything. But it's on its way, and they look like obviously completely different games from what the original Final Fantasy VII game
is. The gameplay
like.
Even the same though, or are they kind of harvesting the gameplay from Final Fantasy 15?
I feel like it's more towards 15. So I started Final Fantasy at the 9th game, and then I started playing from there. So I don't know enough about Final Fantasy 7, but my understanding
7 is like turn-based, like full-on turn-based.
Right.
How it used to be. Like you run into the enemy, just like, and then it goes like Pokemon, and then you end up fighting turn-based style. Actually, it is turn-based, but I believe it's also like a real-time turn-based where it does the thing where the enemies attack you while you're trying to decide what to do against the enemy. So it's a bit of a timer going on kind of thing. You have to make your decisions within the timer.
Okay.
So it's pretty much turn-based, but I think you get punished for taking too long in the enemy's attack.
So that's different by Final Fantasy 15? Because I haven't played the latest ones.
Sorry. After...
Oh, 15 was the complete different one, because that was the open world one. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure most of the ones... Actually, no, that's not true. It seems to change all the time. But yeah, 15 definitely was real-time fighting, not turn-based. It's real-time. So it's like it plays like Kingdom Hearts now for 15. So 15, you're running around, you see an enemy, you slash a bunch with your sword. As you slash, your character raises up in the air and starts levitating because it's floaty graphics and stuff. And you just keep slashing and hitting them with all your strength points that you've got, kind of thing, which is much more like the action-based RPG games we see today, the hack and slash RPG. But Final Fantasy VII, I think most people enjoyed it being more turn-based, which is what classic RPG typically is. It's turn-based.
Right. I can't actually remember. I can take a quick look.
I am forgetting though. You can actually change in Final Fantasy 15. You can change the fighting style though. You can turn it to a turn-based style. I can't remember. They call it something, but it's like a mode that's sort of like turn-based.
Oh, actually?
Where you decide everyone's actions and then they go in and fight.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't remember what they call it, but it's might even only be on the PC. No, it's on one of the expansions or something that they eventually added that mode in, I believe.
Wow.
15 turn-based? Can't remember what it's called.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not fully turn-based at all. I'm sure it's doing it in Injustice calling it that, but it's similar to it though.
Yeah. Well, I guess I just think it's cool that you get the option at least.
Oh.
I kind of think the Final Fantasy VII remake. I mean, I'm just looking at the gameplay footage now. I think it is turn-based. Yeah. For the 7 remake, but
I thought I heard that I remember reading an interview a long time ago, so it probably doesn't hold up anymore, but there was an interview at some point where the guy was saying the creator was saying that he's changing the combat to be more like Final Fantasy 15. So that's why I was asking, because I was pretty sure they were going to change the combat style to the newest one. And that's why I think a lot of fans won't like Final Fantasy 7, because the ones that you're wanting to play Final Fantasy 7 are all the new people as well as the old people. But I think most of the old people are going to be expecting a recreation of what they already played. And I feel like they're sending it to something else. The combat mode, by the way, is called Wait in Final Fantasy 15. It's called Wait mode.
Okay.
And it's Final Fantasy 15, so it says in wait mode, time stands still until you perform an action. So it's not it technically is turn-based, but it's not turn-based in the way that you know turn-based. It just pauses everything until you choose what to make your guy do. Then he goes and does it, then it pauses again, and then you keep choosing. So
right.
Similar to turn-based, but in a weird real-time action combat style.
Yeah.
But yeah, I worry about Final Fantasy 7. I hope it's good. I hope it's great. But I think people like Final Fantasy 7 also for the gameplay, not just the story or the cinematics and all that. I think they really like the gameplay, especially the battle style. So
yeah. Well, I think if anything, if you're gonna remake a game like Final Fantasy 7, like picking a classic game, like you're doing it more for the nostalgic effect rather than trying to modernize it. If that makes sense. I mean, like obviously the modernizing is going to be part of it, but I feel like the most attractive part about it is just you're just renovating the graphics of an old game, right?
Yeah. I mean, that Crash Bandicoot re-release came out, and one of the biggest gripes about it was that it was too hard. And like they didn't really change the combat, or they didn't change the gameplay at all. They just kind of recreated the graphics. So that was just how hard it was back on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
I mean, there might have been some small
too.
tweaks, but yeah, it's like the people don't know what they want, right? So in that instance, if that was Final Fantasy, you would want to update the combat style to be real time. But personally, I think the best situation is probably the hardest, which is do both. Do turn-based as well as a new real-time version if you want to play them. So you can play it either classic way or play it the new advanced way. I think it would take forever to make, but I think that would be the best way to do it.
If anything, that would take like twice as long because you're basically creating two different games in one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Although Dragon Age Inquisition did a really good version of turn-based as well as real-time. Mm-hmm. In Dragon Age, you press down the PlayStation touchpad, and it does this like bird's eye view of the battle, and then you kind of choose the direction you want everybody to go. You can even like drag players to move into different places and stuff like that, or to like tell them that you want them to move. Then you turn the timer back on, and everything starts up again. It was really good for people who like turn-based. So Dragon Age did it really well.
Cool.
So I don't know. That's just an idea for the Final Fantasy people. I know they listen to our podcast, so I just want to give them notes and tips on how to make a better game. So,
right, okay, good. You should definitely email them just right now.
No, they'll email me. It's okay.
Okay, right. What am I saying?
Who you talking to?
The other PS4 or at least Sony thing I wanted to mention was the Marvel Avengers game, which is Marvel Entertainment in collaboration with Square Enix.
And weird! I haven't heard of this.
So this has kind of been also floating under the radar. I think like have been
they've
little
done this before. Ultimate Alliance, Marvel Ultimate Alliance was Square Enix and Marvel, so they've actually teamed up before, I believe.
Yeah, they have, but this is for a different type of game. So Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was also just recently released.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that now obviously because of the time, it focuses around Thanos and his army. So, well, I mean, there's just a whole MCU because there was. Like Ragnarok was also part of it. I think Hela was in it. And then what I like about these games though is that they're keeping the style of the comics as opposed to the style of the movies. Right. So they're they're not actually designing the looks to fit the actors or what we've seen in the movies, but they're still keeping it like Thanos has his like blue and yellow outfit.
Okay, cool.
Like he looks pretty much exactly like what he did before.
That's cool.
I think I saw. Well, obviously, like Wolverine's still in his like yellow outfit. What else was there? But anyway, yeah. So Marvel Avengers. So this game has been under the radar for I feel like at least the past few years, and so I think it was just a week ago. I think maybe some of the members of Square Enix or somebody tweeted out, like we're going to be seeing some updates pretty soon. And then so part of E3 was basically showing the trailer of this new game that's coming out. And they didn't. I think the gameplay was kind of mixed in with the footage of the cinematics, so it's hard to tell what the gameplay will actually be. but it almost looked like you could have sequences where you would control the Hulk, control Black Widow, Iron Man, and Thor. And in the trailer, it's a bit of a spoiler, but I mean it's for a game, so it's not that big of a deal. But and it's not related to the MCU so much. But anyway, for the in the trailer, Captain America, he's on one of the helicarriers, like one of Shield's helicarriers, and all of a sudden, like while the other Avengers are at I think they're at the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. So then while they're trying to like save the bridge from falling, Captain America is on the helicarrier and it just blows up and crashes into the water. And then I think they do like a cut scene, and all of a sudden they're showing like tombstones and things for people who had fallen during that day. I think they called it A-Day, and Captain America was one of the ones that had died during that one as well.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so there's that's what you wanted. You wanted Captain America to die.
That's the sacrificial character that I wanted, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that means you should play the game now.
Maybe. I'm just, I have the trailer on the background while you're talking, so I have a bit of a reference. It's made by Crystal Dynamics, who makes Tomb Raider.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that's I mean they're a good company. I mean the Tomb Raider series has actually done pretty well for being the new remake, and I think their graphics are good in Tomb Raider. So I have hopes for this. Yeah. It says it's in-game graphics, and the graphics look pretty good here, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah. It looks pretty interesting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to play it. I put a pre-order down just because during E3, Best Buy and Best Buy usually starts it off, and I think Walmart and Amazon they'll match it, but they do the 30% off on pre-orders.
30% off?
Yeah, 30% off for E3. So I pre-ordered Death Stranding like 2 or 3 years ago, and the Final Fantasy VII remake. So I double-checked the price. For Death Stranding, I'm getting it for $49.99 or whatever plus tax.
Oh my
Whereas
gosh.
now, if you were to pre-order it, it's $59.99 plus tax.
I always make fun of pre-ordering because I think it's really stupid. But if you're actually getting a discount on the price of the game, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, exactly,
so.
Yeah. And I was telling myself, I was trying to debate, like, should I actually do the pre-order or wait until it comes out as a used game? But these are hot titles that I feel like getting a used version of this at EB Games would still be more expensive than pre-ordering at the 30% off price. Right. So I just figured, like, I know I want to get it, so I'm just going to pull the trigger now because I think future me will say thank you, hopefully. So hopefully, yeah. Anyway, release date for the Avengers game will be March 15th, 2020. So, which is, that's like a week and a bit after the Final Fantasy VII remake, so I think people are going to be pretty busy that month. Because I'm sure a lot of the people who are into Final Fantasy VII, like, they're probably into enough action titles that they're going to want to get the Avengers game as well. Right. So yeah, this should be a good month.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that existed, but yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think there was an Avengers Connect game that was supposed to come out way back when the Xbox One launched. And I honestly thought it might have been Square or somebody who was developing it. So I wonder if this is what happened off of that. It got canceled, I believe.
Because they were too Square.
They were too Square, yep. They were too hip to be a Square, though. And or the game was, at least. And so therefore, it's actually going to release. I think the Kinect just didn't do as well as they wanted, so they decided to pull the pin on it. And I really wonder if this is what happened out of it. I would like to see the teams who are working on that one and see if they ended up working on this instead.
I totally forgot the Kinect was a thing.
I know.
Wow.
For Xbox One even, like, I think of the Kinect as a 360 port, but it's not at all. I mean, the Kinect stayed after 360 and went on to Xbox One as well.
Right.
And initially they wanted you to use the Kinect on Xbox One.
Because
you were supposed to go, Xbox, play TV.
Well, now that we're talking about Xbox,
they 4K.
They just announced a new console that they're going to be making too, called the Scarlet. And so I think, what did they say?
Is that working title or is that actually like a new console?
I think that's the actual console.
Because their working titles are usually just like names like that, and then it comes out, it's like, what? Then again, Xbox One X or whatever was like the dumbest naming convention ever. So maybe they are changing it over to something new.
They might be, because like when they like it has an actual logo, like the design.
Oh, okay, so, that would be different. Yeah, you're right.
So I assume that must be like a
Xbox
true name.
Scarlet, interesting.
Scarlet.
What's the idea about this one?
It's supposed to be just reaching like extremely high speeds and ignoring or avoiding load times. So, for example, I didn't even realize this was a thing, because I always thought that load times only took place when you have like a splash on your screen and you see like a loading bar or something that signifies that something is loading, that the game is trying to like render to get ready for you. But then one of the one of the team members was saying how sometimes like if you're in an elevator and the elevator is like bringing you from like one floor to the next floor, that the game is actually loading. Like that's their version of loading. It's just,
for sure.
I never thought about it that way.
Dude, if you watch speedrunners, it blows your mind because when I was first watching speedrunners, and actually whenever I'm developing for video games, I love to watch speedrunners because it really helps you think about how games are made. But with speedrunners, you think at first it's just somebody playing a game fast or trying to get from point A to point B quickly, right? But you realize after not too long that it's not just running through the game, it's running through the code of the game sometimes.
Yeah.
So like in Doom 2016, one of the speedrunners who does that, he hits a switch, I think he hits a switch in a certain way where he ends up being able to get the character on top of the switch and therefore out of the boundaries of the level.
Yeah.
And then he's able to go onto like a sliver, like a pixel long hallway. He's on top of it and he can walk to where the exit of the game is, right?
Right.
So he keeps walking for like maybe a minute and then he stops and pauses. And he just stops and he spins around like 3 times so he can calculate a timing. And what he's doing is waiting for the level to load. Because if the level doesn't load quick enough, then he'll soft lock the whole console and it'll actually freeze. And then he has to restart the console. So it's like a whole next level of speed running because you're waiting for these load times to come in before you go and do something by accident. Because the games today, the levels, like you said, they load procedurally through the game. So, think of like... it's pretty much an example you gave already, but I just like to think about it. But like in Bungie or something, when you're in Halo and you get in a glass elevator and you see a beautiful landscape, it's literally distracting you while the game is loading everything else.
Exactly.
It's so funny, but it's like that's how it goes sometimes. And Uncharted, the Naughty Dog developers, are one of the best for this. They're so good at loading so much in the background so that you don't notice the load times. But they're loading everything while you're playing the game and while this dialogue is happening in front of you. So I
think that's so cool. I think
There's
like it's
it
weird. Like
sure.
as I'm getting older, obviously I'm a little bit more interested in behind the scenes and more like behind the scenes footage or just logistics, not just of games, but even like like movies. I never used to like analyze movies, but now like I think about like what is the like the point of this story or what's like the symbolism here and all that stuff, right? So it's like trying to understand what the artists are trying to create. And so this actually interests me and wants me to play games more, knowing that there's like a structure to not just like putting the game together, but to making sure that they can load it so that the gamer is entertained like 100% of the time, and they're not going through any lulls. That's so cool.
It's crazy how much you don't think about it. And I'm in the middle of developing a game right now that I'm having a lot of fun with, but there's a lot of those things where it's like, oh, I never even thought about that, and that's now becoming an issue, or something that's making the game run really slowly, and you don't even think about it until you have to rewrite the logic behind it. Yeah. And then you start to appreciate why developers do what they do. It's pretty interesting. But speedrunning is my favorite, though, to go to see that kind of stuff. I think it seems like one thing at first. You just watch speedrunning and you're like, okay, I'm just watching a guy beat a game quick. But like I said, you end up realizing that you like it for a totally different reason. That's usually game development or behind the scenes. Yeah. Because as they're speedrunning, they're narrating all the aspects about the game that you don't even know about. And you're like, whoa, that's crazy. Like,
yeah. Anyway, Xbox. So yeah, the Scarlet. I think another notable thing is that they plan to use SSDs in it instead. So less moving parts, faster.
Okay. You can actually put an SSD into a PlayStation though, if you wanted to, because it has an expandable memory, or you can actually remove the hard drive on it and put an SSD into it as well. So, so take that, Xbox. Just kidding. It's a remnants of my old gaming habits where people used to pit each other against each other.
Wait, were you one platform over another? Because I know you own a PS4.
Back in the day, I used to be really into Sony. I bought a PlayStation 1 within the first year when it launched. I bought a PlayStation 2 on launch day, and a 3 on launch day, and a 4 on launch day. I used to be fairly diehard on the Sony stuff. That being said, I have no animosity towards other consoles. I just think it's funny to have a healthy rivalry with other consoles.
Well, yeah.
But above all, I probably play PC than anything else. So, I mean,
me too. Actually,
I still haven't really played any games in a while. But that being said, PC is where I've spent most of my time. As you know, Minecraft has been my biggest. Yeah. And then, Ark Survival Evolved, I'm really enjoying as well. So those two I've put quite a few hours into.
You're currently playing Ark?
No.
Okay.
I haven't played Ark since my girlfriend and I were living together in Vancouver. But we used to play that a lot. That and Minecraft we put a lot of hours into. So
yeah. Well, I remember Minecraft because you would both stream together.
For sure. Yeah. But then like not even like for anybody else, like just playing the game on our own too, or different mods or expansions of the game. The amount of hours in Minecraft is ridiculous. I wish I could actually find out how many hours, but it's impossible to find out. But since 2009, I've been playing Minecraft, so I mean, it's a constant game.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Xbox. So the last thing I wanted to mention about them, didn't really talk about them other than the console, but so they.
But that's the thing. Their shows are always just the console. They talk about the console so much in their shows.
Right. Well, I don't know if they must have mentioned it during their E3, but I saw it in a separate video. But in this one, so I saw a portion of the actual Xbox E3 event, like so them on stage, and they were showing off their new game Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay, but that's not exclusive to Xbox, though.
No, it's not. But I wanted to mention this specifically with Xbox because I mean I don't know if he did it with, like he couldn't have done it with Sony. But have you seen the recent trailers for Cyberpunk 2077?
No, but I have a feeling I know where you're going with this based on memes on Reddit. I think this is all about to make so much more sense to me now.
Okay, so the trailer towards the end of the trailer. I mean the title of the video is called featuring Keanu Reeves. But anyway, so they mocapped
that
Keanu.
Makes so much more sense.
Exactly. So he's a character in this game. He shows up at the end of the trailer, but he actually was on stage to announce the release date of Cyberpunk 2077 at the Xbox E3, which I thought was really cool because like
that is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've had. Well, actually, I can't really even recall if they've had some other actors that they've mocapped before to get on stage to announce it. But I thought it was really cool having him get on stage and do that, and I find it's also kind of very. The timing is also really interesting. Lately, I've seen a lot of memes and things about how, just talking about how nice and kind and like human Keanu Reeves is. Like,
yeah, he's always gotten a fairly good rap, hasn't he? There's the sad Keanu meme, and then there's also that viral video of him like giving his seat up to a woman on a SkyTrain.
Right.
And then there's all these stories about like everyone in his family has died. And like he's got such a sad, depressing life, and because of that, he's very nice and respectful to everyone else, and like gave all his paycheck or whatever to the Matrix animators and everything. So
wow,
yeah, for like his whole life, ever since he's been famous, he's just people have been like, oh man, he's a cool guy, and like he's like the one shining example of actors out there in Hollywood.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. I mean, if these stories are all true and all these accounts are all true, like I think that's really great. Like that is a good thing to be shining out there, because then that just influences other people to be like that, you know, the ones who look up to actors, and especially somebody like Keanu Reeves. I remember seeing a meme, or I guess a couple images of like the meme was like how to, or can I take a picture with you, Keanu, and like something about like how to not end up in a lawsuit or something like that. So he was taking pictures with all these like different women, and some are like gym babes and just like pretty looking girls or whatever, and like the way that they're standing, like they're next to him, and his hands are like, his fingers are like spread out, or so his hands are open, and like you can see his hands like past the girls, so it's trying to show that he's not touching them at all. So he's kind of showing in a way that he's like welcoming them into the picture, but at the same time he's being respectful by not putting his hands on them. There's even a picture with him like Dolly Parton, and it's the exact same thing. Like his hand is just like not on her hip or whatever. So, anyway, I'm sure there's probably much more to it than what I'm seeing in the memes. But this one, it reminds me of this one guy who tweeted recently about his encounter with Keanu Reeves. So he was working at a theater, and he was the one. He was the employee that would actually like give out the tickets. And so, one guy came up and asked to buy a ticket, and the ticket booth guy was looking down, and then as soon as he looked up, saw it was Keanu, and was like, I think he was kind of like shocked, and he was like thinking about asking him for an autograph, but he wanted to be professional, so he didn't. But in the meantime, he was kind of like stuttering. I'm like, oh yeah, what time? And like, you know, obviously showing that he's starstruck.
Yeah.
And then I think there was probably like a moment of hesitation where maybe he looked like he was going to push like the movie ticket towards him, like along with a pen or something. I can't remember, but anyway, something of what he did, Keanu kind of like, so he understood like, oh, he must be like, he's obviously starstruck, or there's something that he's doing that's trying to, like, he wants to get an autograph, but he just didn't ask for it. And so anyway, so Keanu got his ticket and he walked away, and then the guy was beating himself up over not asking, and then all of a sudden he hears a knock on the door behind him, behind his booth, opens the door, and it's Keanu holding like an ice cream cone, and then also holding a paper in his hand. And then he said to the ticket booth guy, like, so I have a feeling that I think you wanted this, so here you go, just in case or whatever. And it was his autograph on the receipt. And then like as Keanu started walking away, he threw the ice cream in the garbage. And so what the guy took from that was that Keanu decided to buy something just so he could get a receipt, just so that he can sign it, just so he could give it to that guy, because he seemed like he wanted it.
Oh
so
my
like
gosh.
it's kind of like it's a quirky story, and it's kind of cool at the same time. Like it's nice that like if he did notice this, like I feel like it's not out of him being like high ego, like, oh, he wants my autograph, but it seemed like he was genuinely trying to do a nice thing.
Yeah.
It's funny that I told my fiance about this, and she's like, what a waste. Like waste of ice cream and waste of paper. like, ignore that part. But
my girlfriend would have said the same thing.
it's just the thought that counts. Anyway, so yeah, he was on stage for Xbox to announce the release date, and while he was trying to read from the script, I think he was saying something like, he was saying like, oh, this film, like I was drawn to the story, and I can't wait for you all to see it because like the game itself, it looks amazing and it's breathtaking. And somebody called out from the stage like, you're breathtaking. And what I thought was really cool was that normally when I see actors on stage in these impromptu moments, they still look like they're very professional and held together, and they look like actors who look comfortable on stage no matter what scenario, right? Like
right.
they won't like lose face, they won't stutter, they can respond like just as if it's like on script or whatever, right? Even though they're still making it up. But he was so quirky that like he was actually kind of taken aback. And like some people when they're not sure like how to act or what to do with their body, they kind of like put their limbs in weird places. So he held up his fist in front of his hand, and like for me that's kind of like a motion like I don't know where to put my body, so this is where my hand is going. And he's kind of just like smiling, almost like he's trying to hide his smile, and he's kind of like backing away. I'm like, whoa, he's so human, like this is so cool to see. And then he pointed back at the guy. He was in like this lunge position where his right foot, like his ankle looked like it was like broken just the way that he was standing, and he was pointing to the guy like, you're breathtaking. And I'm like, wow, it was just a funny moment, like a really cool moment that I like seeing.
That's really good, because E3 is like notorious for its awkward moments. Like there's almost always awkward moments at E3, but this is almost like a win, because it's like an awkward win moment. Like instead of it being a cringe compilation, now it's like awkward win compilation. Like, Keanu is awkward than you.
I thought that was cool. So anyway,
that is good. Well, that makes a lot more sense. On Reddit, I've seen a lot of memes of Keanu. Like there's a lot of Keanu memes, but then in PewDiePie submissions, there's always like the latest trends of memes. Like that's pretty much where you go to see what memes are popular right now.
Right.
And out of nowhere, there was all these memes about Keanu Reeves, and it was like pretty much the memes were like the number one most loved person right now, and it was like Keanu Reeves, like, and it was like showing him, but then it was showing this photo of Keanu Reeves that looked like a video game, and I was like, what is this? It was like fan art. I was like, it looks so cool. But anyways, I guess it's from Cyberpunk, which makes a lot of sense. So
yeah, so I just quickly looked this up. Apparently there's already a meme for his stance. So if you just look up, if you go to like knowyourmeme.com and you look up "you're breathtaking," so I just sent it to you in this Hangouts chat. So you can actually see, like, it's a little bit behind the caption of "you're breathtaking," but you can see his foot. It's like in a weird twisted position.
Yeah, you know what? I've actually already seen this too. I didn't realize that's what it was though. That's great. Awesome.
Yeah,
you're breathtaking.
Yeah,
it's so humble, you know.
I know, it's great. Imagine being like, if you looked up to somebody like Keanu Reeves and said to him, "You're breathtaking," and he said it back to you, like, how good would you feel? Right? I want to meet that guy.
So that's So did you see anything for Cyberpunk? Did they show like some cool stuff on there?
Yeah, they showed cinematics. They showed some gameplay. It looks pretty cool. I'm actually interested in playing it. I didn't know.
Yeah, that definitely looked interesting. I mean, I like CD Projekt Red. I really like The Witcher, so I'm kind of excited for Cyberpunk. It's not into sci-fi, but I feel like if anybody's gonna do it right, they probably would. So
Yeah. So have you looked into it at all, or do you know anything about it?
I saw the gameplay trailer they had of last year. It was like an hour long, or maybe 2 hours long of Cyberpunk. It was a long gameplay trailer. Actually, you know what? It's probably more like 40 minutes, but it felt like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it was good. It showed off a lot. It showed you like a whole main mission where you had to go off and do all this kind of stuff. And I honestly don't remember much of it, but I remember the detail was great. Something about gun switching and like augmentations and stuff were really interesting in the gameplay there. But cool. I can't remember too much of it. But I do remember like city streets, NPCs, augmentations, gunplay, all of that was shown. It all looked really interesting.
Yeah.
But what did they show in this one?
So yeah, I just saw the cinematics of the guy. I'm guessing it's the character that you play. Like he's with one of his, I guess his buddy, and they steal some sort of chip and bring it back to this guy who looks like Little John. And then I think because they caused too much trouble, so he was gonna give it to them. Like that was their deal. And it looks cool because like the chip that he said he found, like he kind of tilted his head, so like the chip that he had, I guess he like embedded it in his neck or like his head or something. So I had no idea what this game was about, but then like, you know, the way his face looks, he looks like Cable, like from X-Men, right? Like you can tell like something has been done to like his body. So
yeah, it's, the whole game is about augmentations on your body and like being more than just human. Yeah,
it looks pretty. I like that concept. Anyway, so yeah,
it terrifies me, but I do like it.
Well, yeah. So anyway, he went to go like wash up because he had blood on his neck from his partner who died. Comes back in and he starts like getting beat up because Little John wants to get that chip from him, but then he didn't want any part of it, that guy, because he like caused too much trouble just getting it. So then it was cool. Like his augmentations were like in his arms, like these like, you know, what's his name? Baraka from Mortal Kombat, where his arms are pretty much like long, like adamantium, like Wolverine claws. Yeah. So like these claws kind of just like came out of his arms.
Crazy.
They probably could have switched to something else. So I thought, okay, cool. So augmentation. But then also, as he was about to go for the Little John's assistant, she looked like she had some sort of like telepathic powers, and that was like stopping him from moving, unless she's got some sort of like electromagnetism thing as part of her augmentation. So at least there's two different spectrums of gameplay there. Like it's not just like physical augmentation, but like the mental thing.
Right.
Anyway, so he gets knocked out, and then when he wakes up, Keanu Reeves is the one that comes up to him and tells him to get up and says, "Hurry! Like we've got to take down the city or something like that, or we've got to destroy a bunch of stuff." I'm like, okay, cool. That sounds fun. Augmented destruction, and sure, why not?
Augmented Keanu.
Yeah. So
the game was going to sell before it even had Keanu Reeves in it, so it would have been fine.
So I think that'll be fun.
I don't know if you play as a specific main character, or if you create a character, or what. Because I feel like the gameplay demo of last year, it was a girl that they played as, and it looks like this one it's a guy. So I don't know. Maybe there's two different main characters, or maybe you augment or change how the character looks, the main character. I'm not sure. Like a Mass Effect kind of thing. I really don't know.
But that'd be cool. I guess maybe, part of it you can like augment yourself to be a completely different person.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. The beginning might be a character customization thing where you're augmenting your looks.
Yeah. That could be just for the sake of like trying to get through the next set of tasks in the story. Yeah. So yeah, that's possible.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break here. And typically in this section, because we're actually going to move on to the Nintendo, but before we move on to Nintendo, we're going to break off to our section, which is typically called the Wheel of Scum.
Scum.
The Wheel of Scum.
Scum. Scum. Scum. Scum. Scum. Scum. Scum. Scum. Mux. 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 Mux.
Mux.
Scum. Scum. Mux.
Scum.
Mux. Scum.
Scum Mux.
Scum Mux.
So instead of spinning the Wheel of Scum like we normally will, this time what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game I like to call Did It Do? Did It Do? Nintendo Trivia Quiz. Ziz. And this is actually off the Nintendo website itself, so we're going to play a little quiz here. We got 5 questions. Play along at home and see if you know your Nintendo stuff. Anth0z is going to be on the chopping block, and he's going to have to answer all 5 questions correctly, and if he does not, he's cut from the rest of the podcast.
Cool.
Here we go.
That means I'm not sending my audio. Cool.
Okay, the first question is Legend of Zelda themed. Specifically, Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
Where did the fairy Navi get her name? Is it A, Navigate, B, North American Vampire Inc., C, Naval, or D, Navy?
Navigate.
Do, 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 do,
Wait, I said my answer
do,
already. Navigate.
do. Oh, okay. Navigate. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay. You were correct. You got
Yes.
the first one right. Navi, the navigating fairy, was originally designed as an upside-down triangle targeting system, but she eventually was turned into a fairy that helps Link find his way. Next question. This, my dear Anth0z, is an Animal Crossing question.
Oh, I don't play it, but okay.
Oh, man alive.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, this is such a specific Animal Crossing question. It's going to be so difficult. I'll try to help you because I do play a bit of it, or I did play a bit of Animal Crossing.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get it. Okay. Which benefit is included with a Club Tortimer membership?
Wait, say one more time? One more time?
Which benefit is included with a Club Tortimer membership? I couldn't even tell you what that means, but I think it has to do with something to do with amiibos, and if you get the Tortimer amiibo, I think. So maybe you would know, because you know amiibos.
Yeah.
Do you get a free wetsuit? Do you get access to online features? Do you get a ride of Captain's boat? I would assume that means a ride in Captain's boat. Or do you get 10 bells a day for life?
Oh, what was the first one? A free wetsuit?
Yeah, which benefit is included with a Club Tortimer membership? You know what I'm just realizing? So this would be... Yes, so in Animal Crossing New Leaf on the 3DS... I'm just trying to understand the question here, but Animal Crossing New Leaf on the 3DS, I believe what they're saying is when you buy Mortimer as an amiibo, and you put him into your game... You get the Club Tortimer membership. Well, now, it's going to be in-game. So in-game, do you get a free wetsuit? Which you could, right? Like, there might be a wetsuit that your character gets. Or do you get access to online features? Which, to me, would be a bit of a stretch to suddenly get new online features in Animal Crossing from an amiibo. Like, that seems like almost too much.
You know what? Actually, I don't think Tortimer came out as an amiibo. But what they might have done was...
Actually, here, I can also share my screen. This might make more sense. Just because there's an amiibo logo, so I just thought...
Oh, you know what? There's amiibo... Is it amiibo cards?
Oh, that's exactly what it is. There's amiibo cards. But you see here it says Welcome Amiibo?
Oh, I see.
So I believe... I think you're right. I think it is an amiibo card.
Okay,
But again, it still stands. I think that the access to online features is a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And also, a ride on the captain's boat, I think, is also something you already have. So I don't think that's something you would get from an amiibo.
I was going to say a free wetsuit because...
Yeah.
But
I also think 10 bells a day for life is something you wouldn't want to program in an Animal Crossing game because the days are calculated real-time days. And it'd be really hard to calculate now every real-time day that the character just suddenly gets 10 extra bells. You'd have to add in code for that, and I feel like it'd be tough.
Wait, why did you say that it wouldn't be a ride of Captain's boat?
I said it wouldn't be because I'm pretty sure in a New Leaf you can just ride the captain's boat already.
Oh, okay.
I think so, because the captain's boat is what gets you to the island. There's like another island you can go to.
Oh.
A little island where you do some fishing. And I'm pretty sure that's... Because Captain... Let's just search him up. I think Captain is the crocodile guy. Or not crocodile, but I think he's the... This guy, yeah, this guy.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure this guy already takes you to and from an island, so you get a ride in his boat anyways.
Okay. Well, my first answer will be a free wetsuit, but my second answer will be a ride of Captain's boat.
Okay, well, I agree with you. I actually think it's the free wetsuit as well. But that's interesting. We both don't know. Let's see. It's access to online features. How? With the Resort Islands online features, players with internet access can go on island tours with other players. I should have known from the photo. They're all hanging out on an island tour. But they have a wetsuit on. Complete with them to win in-game medals and more. Grams occasionally and sells a membership to Club Tortimer for 50 medals. We failed.
Tricky.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I hope the people at home got that and really liked our in-depth analysis of that question. Here we go. Question number 3. Luigi's Mansion.
Yes. also didn't play, but okay.
Here we go. Okay, this is specifically to the 3DS version.
Okay.
If player 1 is controlling the green Luigi, then who's controlling the other ones?
Player 2.
Is it A, Polterpup, B, Egod, C, King Boo, or D, players 2 to 4?
Players 2 to 4.
If player 1 is controlling the green Luigi, then who's controlling the other ones? Is it the characters in the game, or is it the players? Well, the main question, I guess what the question's really asking is, was Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon multiplayer? I'm assuming that you're right. Let's go for it. You were right!
Okay. Whew.
Eek! I mean, yay, says Nintendo. Up to 4 players can team up to tackle the Scare Scraper, a haunted building teeming with ghostly challenges. There are 3 spooktacular multiplayer modes, including Rush Mode, where players try to race to the top of the tower before time runs out. You are correct.
Cool.
Question number 4. Ooh, I played this game. I wonder if I can get this. Tomodachi Life.
Oh,
You ever play this?
Also didn't play it.
Oh, I actually played this. I'll see if I can get it. What's going on with these 2 Mii characters in this scene? I'll share my screen.
Sure.
So, for anybody who can't see us, on the screen right now is 2 Mii characters that are, they're both holding flowers, and they seem to be professing their love for a 3rd Mii character. If you've played Tomodachi Life, this happens all the time. You kind of just make a bunch of people, and they all just kind of live together on an island. It's actually weirdly kind of fun, though. Okay, what's going on with these 2 Mii characters in this scene? These 2. They're falling in love at first sight. I love you more.
That's definitely my answer.
They're overcoming a fear of heights. They're fighting off giant hearts. One is proposing to the other. No, I would say they're falling in love at first sight. It seems more like that, because the proposing, they actually...
Like, he's down on one knee, but I don't think he's proposing.
Wait,
like,
wait. There's a photo over here. Are they talking about this photo? I think they're talking about this photo.
Oh.
Because, look, they're falling in love at first sight, which they look to be. They're overcoming a fear of heights, which they're on a crane thing. They're fighting off giant hearts, which there's giant hearts in there. And one is proposing to the other. I honestly don't think they're proposing to each other. I still think the answer is they're falling in love at first sight.
I agree with you. Yeah. That's
they
my
look
answer.
like they're in the Seattle wheel.
Space Needle?
The Ferris wheel in Seattle on the pier.
Is it called the Eye of Seattle?
Sure. Or, okay, they're in the Eye of London, and they're professing their love for each other. Falling in love at first sight. Here we go.
Cool.
Wrong!
What?
They're proposing to each other.
No.
Oh, come on.
They do not look like... Neither of them look like they're proposing.
No, they don't. Neither. The players can help me propose to his or her sweetheart at the fireworks show, the train station, the fancy restaurant, or the Ferris wheel at the amusement park. Ugh, you know what? Maybe I never got that far. Okay, hold on. Next question. Oh,
stupid game.
Yeah, this is kind of a stupid game. They didn't even give us, like... Yeah, screw this. I'm grabbing my own last question, because this last question sucks.
Do you think I can get it, though?
Maybe. Okay, I'll let you ask this, and then I'll do a bonus question. If you get this one right, I'll give you 2 bonus questions. If you get this one wrong, only 1 bonus question.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. What's Chase McCain's first mission as a rookie officer in the game Lego City Undercover?
Just give me the bonus question.
Chase McCain's first question. You got a 25% chance. Is he getting donuts? Is he practicing high fives? Is he making a new friend? Or is he rescuing a cat from a tree?
Ugh.
Do 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 do.
I want to say practicing high fives, but
yeah, I know. I want to say that one. I honestly think it's probably rescuing a cat from a tree, but I want to say practicing high fives as well.
Yeah.
But who knows? You should go with what you want.
Okay, fine. Practicing high fives.
Keep in mind, I don't know the answer. You could be wrong here.
Yeah, practicing high fives. Let's just do it.
Oh,
you know, okay. Because there's cops in there, I wanted to say getting donuts, but I'm like, would Lego City do a stereotype donuts cop thing?
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
Apparently they did.
Yeah.
The rookie cop's very first assignment, hunt down some sweet, tasty donuts for his fellow officers. Very serious business. See our results. Wow. We got 2 out of 5.
Well, if you flip that 2 upside down, it looks like a 5, sort of. So really, I mean, whatever. Just give me the bonus question.
Okay, you're getting 1 bonus question. Miscellaneous Diablo 2 trivia.
Okay.
Which is not one of the sorceress's skill trees? Sorceress's skill trees.
Sorceresses.
Lightning, cold, fire, or poison.
Poison.
Which is not one of the sorcerer's skill trees.
Poison.
Poison, you say?
I say.
Survey says... Do 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 do. Is that your final answer?
Yep.
Do 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 do. The sorceress has 3 skill trees, like all classes, in which she can put skill points into. Apart from dealing elemental damage, which some enemies may resist to or be weak against, each skill tree specializes in one or another answer. This is a long-ass answer, but you are correct, sir. Poison is not one of the ones that she has.
Yes.
Good job, sir.
Thank
Was
you.
that, easy? I don't even know.
That was super easy.
Oh. Well, there you go. That's it. That's all you got.
Nice.
Back to the show! We are back here at E3 2019. There's a lot of folks here all loving every game that they're showing off. There's lots of games.
Also, side note, is that a new bookshelf or CD case behind you? That brown one?
That's the same thing.
To the right. You're right. Your other side. Oh, are you mirrored? Yeah, that one. The tall, skinny one.
This lovely bookshelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not new. No, it's just we moved it. We had our Blu-rays and stuff in there, but it doesn't really... It sucks, actually, for putting Blu-rays into.
Is that the one from IKEA?
I actually don't know. I can't remember where we got it.
Okay, because I think I had the same one in black.
Downstairs sometime. You have the same one in black?
I have the same one in black.
Back to E3 2019!
Back to it!
Okay, so we don't have much more to go, actually. We only got Nintendo, and I hear they haven't really done much for 2019, so...
Well...
I guess just... What did you think they did that was good?
Let me look at my notes. Let's see.
Notes away!
Okay, so there's a couple... I think there's a couple cool things. So, Link's Awakening, like the remake for that one.
We talked about this last time, didn't we? Which one is this?
This was the DS one, the first, or it was a Game Boy one, either Game Boy or DS. I think it was originally Game Boy, and then they brought it back for DS, like they remastered it in color and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, so now they've redone that for. Is it Switch or 3DS? I feel like it's Switch.
Looks Switch to me. The graphics look too good for 3DS.
Oh yeah, pretty sure everything I saw was for the Switch. So yeah. So so they showed some gameplay. Looks pretty cool. I like how they put a little bit more effort into like the animations. So for example,
it looks like it's stop motion or claymation or something. It looks really nice.
Oh, you mean like it doesn't move in claymation, but I guess the shapes, like the texturing of it.
The textures and shape make it look like it's modeled like clay. It looks really interesting.
Yeah. What I liked, like they zoomed in on one part where after he like runs into a tree or like he whacks a tree, all the apples fall, and you see him actually like pick it up and slowly eats it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of a cool, like fun little animation just to add to it. One thing that they've added to it that they didn't really, I guess they exported enough, was you can go into this one place where you can do your own dungeon building. So I guess as you have gone to like different temples, you can sort of like store some of the levels in your pack or whatever. And once you go to this the area where you can put together your own dungeon so that you can keep going back into that room and like farm whatever special item you get from it. Like say you want to keep fighting this boss and you get like an empty bottle, so you can like go out to other places and store fairies or store moo milk or whatever it is you want. Yeah, you can do it that way. So I thought that's kind of cool.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really digging this. I think this looks really, really interesting.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Animal Crossing in a really weird way, but like it looks like the graphics of Animal Crossing New Leaf on 3DS.
Okay.
It's got this like charm about it that would make me really want to go back and play a Zelda game again. So I'm actually really optimistic about this. This looks really cool.
Yeah, and I believe they're making an amiibo for this Link as well.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. It looks really funny looking.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I don't know why. I can't remember. Maybe if Link or the hero is who is the one who created maybe it's like one of the president of Nintendo's like favorite character or something. But there are so many iterations of Link as an amiibo because there's like regular Link, there's Breath of the Wild Link, there's Toon Link, there's young Link. There's probably is there a Shadow Link? No, not yet.
Oh, there's Wolf Link.
There's Wolf Link. Yeah, and then now there's going to be the Link's Awakening Link, and I'm sure there'll be more iterations later on. But
that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that's a cool little addition. I've always always enjoyed being the chance to play or getting the chance to have some like minigame fun. Like I can get lost in minigame stuff like that. So I think being able to create your own thing. I feel like that's also them keeping pace with how what would you call Minecraft as a that kind of platform, like builder game?
The genre?
Yeah.
It's Mindbox.
Oh, Sandbox.
Minecraft is, it's classified as Sandbox.
I see.
I would call it more like a tool, though. I wouldn't even call Minecraft a video game. I call it a tool, or I call it a tool. Like a piece of software or something like that, like an Adobe Premiere Pro or something. I find Minecraft to be more than just labeled as a game. It's so weird.
Okay.
But like things like Mario Maker to me fall under the same category where it's like a tool. It's more than just a game. It's like a game development game, so then it becomes almost a tool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, yeah. So I feel like that's just them kind of doing like expanding a little bit more into that market because they had Mario Maker.
It does seem like that because a Zelda Maker would be a very good thing to do.
Yeah. And so then they also announced Mario Maker 2, so that'll be coming out as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's going on in Mario Maker 2? I think you talked a bit about this before.
I did, but the thing was I never really got into the game, so I can't say much about it. And I don't know if this is a thing, but in this Mario Maker, I remember seeing specifically there were like big cannons that were stacked to look like a human body, and they were on top of big red boots. So cannons in the shape of a body on top of boots were jumping towards Mario. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like that's super creative.
Threw on just a random YouTube video, and it looks like they've added different mounts and stuff for Mario. So he's in a car right now, which I've never seen Mario in a car before. So it looks like they've added different things like mounts and vehicles and stuff for Mario just to make it more interesting, I guess. I've been really into Mario because of speedrunning. So I've been really into watching some speedruns on Mario. So I feel like Mario Maker is just a really interesting game because it falls under that same sort of category.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I really like that. I mean, the speedrunner community seems to be a little bit... like it's like half of them love Mario Maker and half of them hate Mario Maker. So
oh, really?
Yeah, because it kind of like invades their thing. But at the same time, there's just new creative levels coming out that people can have fun with anyway. So it's all about the games, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and also like that gives more ability for other people to get into it, like those who like they don't.
I think the speedrunning community thought that they were losing something with Mario Maker coming out there, but really in the end, all they've done is gain something because they're getting more people into the same thing. So
yeah,
it's cool.
And if anything, I can't see how that would take away from them at all because like the basis for them to do speedruns is just to have a game in general that they can like exploit, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what it is
and find new exploits, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this just I feel like if anything there's maybe more opportunity for if there are ever any levels that get created that become like iconic or very like popular levels, then those could just be new avenues for them to do speedruns, right? Like I guess. So it's kind of a weird thought. But yeah, so like I said, I never got into the Mario Maker game, but I feel like this could be really fun. I mean, like I really liked Mario Paint, and I wouldn't say it's a Mario Maker game, but there were some aspects of like putting your own creativity into it. I don't know if you remember.
They apparently almost called Mario Maker the first one. They almost called it Mario Paint because it was like a spiritual successor to Mario Paint. So
yeah, I can definitely.
They definitely had that in mind.
Yeah.
Can I just make one note that it looks like Bowser when he gets the bell power up, which turns into a cat. His official name is Meowser.
In Mario Maker 2, or you mean like the next Super Mario game?
In Mario Maker 2, I don't know if it must be. I guess it's canon to Mario, but his name is apparently Meowser when he gets the bell. So.
Interesting. Oh, that reminds me. You know how Reggie Fils-Aimé he stepped down?
Yeah, and then the Bowser guy replaced him.
Now it's Doug Bowser. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They did this really cheesy thing where what's his name? So first guy, Japanese guy from Nintendo, he announces that the new successor is going to do, or Bowser is going to talk more, and so they have they animate Bowser coming into the screen, and he wants to like talk, but everybody's the guy's like, "Why are you here?" Like he's so confused, and obviously Bowser's just making all these weird noises. He can't speak in English, and then Doug Bowser walks in and says, "No, wrong Bowser. You have to leave. It's me they want."
Oh my!
It was super cheesy, but I guess that's.
Do you think
still
that's why he got
Nintendo.
the job, and/or do you think that's actually his real name?
I kind of. I don't know. I assume that's his real name, but
I miss Reggie. I never thought I'd say that. I miss Reggie. I like Reggie.
I never really got in.
Some people say
Reggie
I look like Bowser.
Reggie to me was always kind of like a weird guy as
He's
well. Like
such a weirdo.
Yeah.
That's why I love Reggie. Such a weirdo. Reggie! Oh, there's that one there's the Smash Bros tournament and Reggie like challenged a kid to Smash Bros to fight. And like this kid was like really good at Smash Bros.
Oh,
and for some reason Reggie like tried to sound like he was really competitive.
Yeah.
And he said something really dumb, like, "I'm gonna wipe the floor with you," or something. But it was like this kid. It was really funny. He was like so aggressive towards this little kid.
Who won in the end?
He lost.
Okay.
Oh, he definitely lost.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
right. So I was going to mention just before. So this is part of the Nintendo Direct, and then just before it actually got into showing some of the upcoming games, I think this must already be a thing because the Nintendo Switch logo, like it's an animated logo, so that when it clicks in, like the Joy-Con clicks into place, you hear a snap. Yeah. And so Doug, just before going into the trailers of other games, he did a snap with his right hand, and so yeah, I assume this has happened before, but at the same time, it made me think: is there some sort of tie into like Marvel, just because of like the whole Thanos snap thing? Like it just seems weird. Like just the timing of it just seems very. It could just be me overthinking it, but I don't know. Do you recall ever seeing any like snap related footage of Nintendo Directs?
I think I remember when they revealed the Switch, because I almost remember. I'm pretty like I don't know. It's really foggy. I think it's really foggy.
It's really foggy, Nelson.
But I think I remember when they released the Switch at E3 or announced it. They were trying to do this like, and then like cutting to the next person who was on a different side of the stage, and the lighting cues were really bad. So it kind of became this joke about how bad it was. But Switch reveals snap. I honestly think they did do a snap. They were like, it's as easy as. And then there was this awkward like pause, and then it like cut to somebody else or something like that. But
okay.
Switch reveals snap E3. Nothing's coming up that I can see though, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
I might be wrong, but
that's just me overthinking it. Me just trying to like, just to keep holding on to Avengers. That's all. That's all it is.
Holding on. Any other Nintendo-related things at E3? I'm sure there was something.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch. I'll pass over like a couple names, and then we can talk about some of the bigger ones. Okay. So Luigi's Mansion 3 was announced.
Oh, cool.
The Witcher 3, a Panzer Dragoon remake, which I thought is kind of cool. Panzer Dragoon is one of the first games I remember, like I can attach to my memory of EB, like Electronics Boutique. So this was before it, like I guess they kind of redesigned to be EB Games, and they were actually called Electronics Boutique. And they always had a PlayStation that you like a demo PlayStation with Panzer Dragoon that you could play.
Oh, really?
But that store, like, I don't know if it was the game or the PlayStation or something, but like you couldn't actually play it. Like you could grab the controller and you can start like flying as your Dragoon or whatever it is, but then you couldn't control it, and they would just like. It seemed so cool off the beginning, like, oh, cool, I'm gonna fly this dragon, and then, oh wait, no, I can't actually do it. Oh, this sucks, and then and they kept that console there for like, I feel like it was like years, and they kept that same demo there the whole time, and I just don't know why. But.
They probably did it on purpose so people wouldn't stay in their store playing video games.
Probably, yeah. So,
I
anyways,
worked there. We didn't like it when people were playing the demos.
Yeah. So a remake of that.
Cool.
So there's some news for Smash Bros. That they're
Smash Bros.
They actually announced like a couple things. So
There's new characters?
New characters. So they've got some characters. The hero from Dragon Quest. And it looks like the skins for some other characters from Dragon Quest.
Goku-looking guy.
Yeah, kind of like half Goku, half...
Oh, weird. This is like our
Link.
closest way to getting Goku in there because it's the same artist from
is it?
From Dragon Ball Z who does Dragon Quest.
Oh.
Yeah, he does the slimes and he did all the monsters and they designed the hero characters. And so they all have the same haircuts as like Gohan and stuff.
Oh darn. So that means we won't be getting Dragon Ball. Oh, I can picture the animation.
I doubt we'd ever get Dragon Ball unless there was some kind of like weird partnership deal or something.
You're right, yeah.
But since it's the same animator as Dragon Ball, what's his name? Not Miyamoto, not Aki. I don't remember.
Akira.
His name. Akira. Anyways, so same animator. So this is like our closest we will most likely ever get. But then again, there was a time I said Cloud would never be in Smash Bros. And he is.
Yeah.
So.
And look at you now, you fool.
Look Pikachu now.
Look Pikachu now.
Who else is in there?
And Banjo and Kazooie.
Oh, that's fitting. That makes sense.
Yeah. So
that's good. Hey, that means Rare is coming back to Nintendo for once. That's really nice.
I guess so. Well, they did well, you mentioned that they did a Banjo Kazooie remake, right?
No, that was on Xbox 360. So Microsoft bought out Rare. So Rare used to be like good for Nintendo, but then it was a Microsoft entity.
Oh, but do you think it's possible that they could just have like just lent them the rights just to use the character in the game, but not?
Oh, I'm sure they did,
plans?
but it's nice to see that though because it felt like there was animosity there or something.
Yeah. I thought that the trailer for that was kind of cool. It was Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and King K. Rool were like sleeping in Donkey Kong's hut, and then they hear this noise. So then they're trying to figure out where it comes from. They go to the window, they're looking out, and their faces are all like smashed up against the window, and then they see a silhouette of what looks like Banjo and Kazooie. Yeah. And then as then the character, like the silhouette, ducks into the light so that you can see its body, and it's actually it's Duck Hunt. It's like the dog and duck from Duck Hunt. And it was just like posing as Banjo and Kazooie, and it starts just like popping up in different bushes, like in their view. Like the dog is
I'm just
picking
watching
up, like,
it now.
ducks. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, the actual Banjo and Kazooie like jumps high up in the sky and lands on Duck Hunt, and reveals that it's actually him playing the ukulele. What is it?
Yeah, it looks like
Guitar.
ukulele. Wow, or raring to go. That's pretty smart.
Raring to
go.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big catch, and people have been wanting that for a long time, actually. So that's got to be really good news for the Smash Bros. People.
Yeah, I thought I saw some reaction videos, and people were really stoked about getting Banjo.
I bet you they are, yeah, because that's a good, really nostalgic game. Lots of fans still for Banjo Kazooie. I mean, pretty much that whole ukulele game that came out. Like everyone who bought ukulele would be stoked to see this. So, yeah, no, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I'm happy for them.
Good, you should be.
I am.
You are a yam.
I am.
Other games?
Any other characters?
No, those are the only ones that I can recall. They've announced like their schedule for Amiibo releases, so they're getting let's see what else is coming out. Like Ivysaur and like they split up like all the Pokemon trainer characters, right? So you can get them all separately. And some other characters. Well, Joker will probably be getting an amiibo soon too. Joker is also another character that's coming to Smash Bros. I think he's from. I don't know. I feel like he's from an anime. I don't know what, or some sort of like anime.
He's not from
game.
Persona, is he? Oh,
whoa!
What?
Whoa!
No way! Joker from Persona.
There you go. That's the one, I guess.
Oh, crazy! That's a PlayStation exclusive.
Oh!
Out of nowhere.
Cool.
Wow.
He was actually announced like a little while back, but I just remembered him. That's all.
I didn't even know he was going to be in Smash, though. That's really interesting. That's very weird. Don't get me wrong. It seems strange. I'm just watching the video. It's so bizarre. It seems strange, but that's cool. Like I'm happy that PlayStation got to throw somebody into the ring as well.
What kind of game is Persona?
Actually, maybe I'm wrong on that. Before I misspeak, is Persona 5 on Xbox as well? Because I think of Persona series as exclusively PlayStation.
Okay.
Because there was a time when it was, but it's very possible it was on. Oh no, let's say it's only on PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5.
Sorry, what were you asking?
Persona, like what is that game? What's it about?
It's an RPG. At its heart, it's an RPG game, but it's like a simulation / RPG.
Okay.
So the games take place in like a Japanese high school, and you play as a cast of characters. It's usually a whole bunch of fun. They're usually really long, and you go to high school and go through all your classes, and then at night, you and your friends from the high school go into like some sort of battle arenas and fight monsters and level up and do the whole RPG stuff there. Then what starts to happen is the two worlds start to blend together, and the actions that happen at high school are reflected in the monster world at night.
Whoa.
And it's this like epic story, really, really good. Persona 4 is my favorite one, but Persona 5 was definitely good too.
Cool.
But
That sounds
lots
fun.
of hours of gameplay to put into that. So, but that's a really good catch. That's awesome.
Nice.
I didn't know that guy was in Smash.
Yeah.
And his Joker's like his alternate ego name, and his main name is whatever you name him. So I would have had no idea. I just when he said Joker, I thought Batman.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what I thought too. Like, because.
But then it started coming to my head. I was like, oh boy, Persona. Like,
yeah. Well, when I first saw it, like, whenever they show or before they actually show the character, it's a silhouette, right? And I think it's maybe I saw the caption saying like Joker, but I saw the silhouette, and I'm like, what? Why is DC getting in on this? Like, that's such a weird thing. And then they show that it's whatever this character is. I'm like, oh, I don't know who this is, so whatever, don't care. But yeah, I guess a lot of other people do care, so that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's a very popular series. Yeah.
Cool.
It's really fun too. I wish Persona was like super. I wish it was more popular than it is already. It's just that over here in North America, it's not as popular as it is over on the east side of the world.
Oh, so it's really popular in like Japan, for example.
Yeah, very popular over there.
Man, this sucks. All this talk about games makes me really want to play games, but I just don't have time. Like,
I know
all this E3 and us and one of the last things I remember from the E3 Direct. There's some. I mean, like they go through so many videos in like one span of time that like it's hard to keep track. But yeah, the very last thing was basically a teaser for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. So that has started development. So
not even like a new Legend of Zelda, an actual sequel to Breath of the Wild.
They titled it, or they said it's a sequel. So I was thinking,
interesting.
I'm thinking back to the previous games, and like they all were technically different stories, like different versions.
So it's
exactly. Like different versions of the hero, different versions of like Link, different versions of Zelda, and
I'm gonna call it now. I think Princess Zelda will be a playable character in the next one.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because there was another Zelda game that they announced. It's like Cadence of something. It's basically you move and fight. It's like square-based movement.
Grid-based?
Grid-based, yeah. Grid-based movement, and but you have to do it like on beat to the music that's playing in the background.
Oh, like Crypt of the Necrodancer?
Yeah, exactly. So
awesome. I love that game.
So there's a Zelda game for that, and it's called Cadence of... I can't remember what it's called, but you can probably look it up quickly. But anyway...
Cadence of Hyrule... Oh, wait!
I'm waiting.
I think Cadence of Hyrule...
Oh, is it called? Oh, it is Cadence of Hyrule. I thought it was Cadence of
Hyrule is a Nintendo-only exclusive expansion to Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Oh.
Interesting. So it's actually Crypt of the Necrodancer just with the expansion.
Yeah,
it's from the creators of Crypt of the Necrodancer, and then it's the same gameplay.
Okay.
Oh, it actually looks quite different, though.
Well, I guess
it's the same, don't get me wrong, and it's definitely the same engine the creator used.
But it's probably meant to look more like an actual Zelda game from like...
Yeah, they've gone to some extremes to make it look different. And good on them, too. Good creators. Very
so
good
with
game.
that one, that's a character that they announced that you can play as Zelda as well for this upcoming version.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
well, I think I wouldn't be shocked only because there was a lot of people who were excited about Zelda's appearance and like her character, and I think she goes through like a whole character arc and stuff in Breath of the Wild. I've never played Breath of the Wild, so I don't know. But I just know a lot of people were excited and happy about this version of Zelda.
Yeah.
Like one of the best versions of Zelda. So I wouldn't be shocked if... Oh, that's another thing. So many people wanted a girl version of Link. Like they thought Link might be a girl in Breath of the Wild before Breath of the Wild came out. So it only makes sense to me that Breath of the Wild 2, Nintendo would go, okay, we'll give them like half the game you play as Zelda or something.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Or the whole game you play as Zelda. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think back, but were there actual sequels for any of the Zelda games? Because I can't recall.
Only things like Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, and then Legend of Zelda 2.
Right. Well, yeah.
For the NES. Other than those, I can't really see anything that's a sequel.
Like Majora's Mask wasn't really a sequel.
Oh, good point, actually. No, it is a sequel, isn't it? It takes place right after. In Majora's Mask, again, I've never played it, but I believe there's a cutscene that talks about Zelda and like Hyrule and all that, and it's as if like you were from Hyrule or you just came from there.
Okay, so like, so I guess I was thinking back to the Majora's Mask and thinking like, maybe, is it that it like. Is it to make you think that what the storyline from Ocarina of Time never actually happened or something?
I think that's what's at stake, but I think it does. I think you're fixing it so it does happen. Okay. I don't know. Majora's Mask is really trippy, so
very trippy, yeah.
And I've actually never played it. I've only seen a speedrunner go through it, so I have the worst rendition of what the story is. So.
But anyway, yeah. So Breath of the Wild sequel coming out. I don't think they mentioned like when it's going to be, but I imagine just based on how long it took for Breath of the Wild to come out, that the sequel will also take quite a long time.
They can take all the time they need. Nintendo's doing very good on making actual solid games. So
yeah, and if this was just the teaser, we can expect it in about 5 years.
Well, I mean, I'm still shocked by the speed between Breath of the Wild and then Mario Odyssey. That was insane. How quickly they were able to pump out 2 great titles for the Switch. I
Did you play Mario Odyssey?
What's that?
Did you play it? Mario Odyssey?
No, I haven't played it. I've just seen a lot about it. But the console, I know that they developed these games before the console completed. Obviously, I mean, on the Switch, or on the Wii U, there was already Breath of the Wild. But
right.
And Odyssey would have been in development before Switch released. But still, I just find it shocking how quickly they came out with 2 games that were so well balanced and actually like solid games, good stories. They didn't really rush anything. It wasn't just another 3D Mario World or something stupid like that. Like they actually came out with a real Mario game, something on par with Sunshine or something on par with Galaxy. So I think that was really cool and awesome of them, or Super Mario 64 actually. But I don't want them to just rush out a bunch of sequels or anything like that. I don't want to see an Odyssey 2 or a Breath of the Wild 2 that they just like barely do any changes to.
Right.
Like Galaxy 2 is a really good sequel to Galaxy. They actually spend a lot of time trying to fine-tune the mechanics and add a bunch of new things to change up the game. And so I really hope they give this the Galaxy 2 treatment. So.
Well, did you feel like any of the Mario sequels ever fell flat?
Yes, definitely. I mean, Super Mario 3D World or whatever it's called on the Wii U.
Uh-huh.
The one that's
like the first time you can turn into cats? Is that the one?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I thought that one was stupid. Really stupid. And I wasn't a big fan of the new Super Mario World series that they kept doing. It fell really old really quickly. Like it wasn't challenging, and the style, while nostalgic, loses its charm within like the first world that you'll play on those games. So to me, I was not interested in that, and I felt like we hadn't had a good Mario game since Super Mario Sunshine. So since Super Mario Galaxy 2. But I like Sunshine a lot. I know that's kind of controversial to a lot of people, but I think Sunshine is the best Mario game.
Wow, I never played it because I think I tried to play it and I'm like, I don't get what I'm doing, so I didn't really like it. It's
so weird, but I love it. It's his movement. His movement is so good in that game. It's so fluid. He's like Buddha as he's like moving around the world. Like you can like shoot water onto a surface, then jump, then dive and slide on the water and then like hop as you're sliding. Like what other game can you do that? Like that's crazy. The mechanics are so well thought out that everything complements each other and you can string along combos as you're moving. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Just like Super Mario 64 and just like Super Mario Galaxy, Mario should have really solid movement like that. And I think Odyssey did a really good job at adding that roll that he can do. The roll, and then also the whole idea with the hat, throwing the hat and getting an extra jump out of it, like that adds so much more height mechanics to Mario. So
yeah,
some really cool stuff that they were thinking of. So anyways, I just think Nintendo's on it. I think they're doing great. They're really making some awesome games right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to like just how you mentioned the whole fluidity of Mario just and his movement. I remember in Mario 64, would you ever just take him and run around a circle and like just watch his body kind of like tilt like a motorcycle that's going around a curve, right? And just
I know, yeah, he's kind of like doing that, you know, just like
yeah.
Yahoo!
And then so yeah, I remember Super Mario 64 was probably like such a big game for me, and I think this also supports how I really like just playing. Well, I wouldn't call it a mini game, but it sort of was like in the beginning where you can like stretch his face. and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like for me, that was almost like a mini game. It's like a side game that you can play in the midst of playing the actual game. And so I really enjoyed trying to like hide his face, like put all of his like his nose, his eyebrows, his ears, pull everything to the center and pull his hat down as if he was just like a potato with a hat. And it was always like a challenge for me to see if I could keep recreating that every time I played it. So I love that game.
Okay, well, Anth0z, on that note, this has been a bit of a long episode. I'm going to call it the epic E3...
E4.
E4, because there's epic in there.
Yeah.
Yes. Anth0z, where can the audience find you?
If you must find me, you can find me on Twitter. That's at Anth0z1.
And if you want to find me, you can find me at Cast Mattbrush on Twitter, or if you want to find me, no, I'm not Cast. I'm Mattbrush Gaming on Twitter.
Who are you?
And on YouTube, I am Mattbrush Gaming as well. You can also find these podcasts in video form on YouTube if that's what you want to do. Or if you want to listen to us as a podcast, you can listen to us on podcast platforms such as iTunes, Podbean, Anchor, Spotify, SoundCloud, and many, many, many more. Anth0z, you did not get a Friends reference in this
I was just going to say.
No way!
I was waiting for it. Like, I actually just started thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I didn't think of anything. And just as you started talking, the way you talked, I can't remember what scene it was, but it reminded me of Chandler because you were like, on and it like on YouTube, on Twitter or whatever. And I can't actually picture the scene, but I swear there is some sort of, it's not just like them making fun of him. What is it?
Oh, when Joey's making fun of Chandler, and he goes, "Could I be any more?" Or no, is that it? Or is it?
Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Yeah.
I think it's. Oh no, it's.
And then Chandler makes fun of himself at the end of the episode.
Oh, okay. That's the one that I'm thinking of. It's when he makes fun of himself, but in front of his employees, like in front of his staff.
Okay. Yeah. I think I remember this.
He says like, I'm gonna need the
by Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. That's the scene. That's what you reminded me of. So
there's your Friends reference. Good job.
You can't say I didn't.
And like every other episode, Anth0z, we end this with a famous.
Bye. Wickawawa. With a little God spills. Godzilla spills. Zills spills.
Oh, are you rapping? Are you Godzilla rapping?
No, I'm being the hype man.
Oh.
You know, the one who says, put your hands up, Godzilla, Zilzilla, Illa Willa, hip, Godzilla, oh Milla, my Jilla, hey Silla, Bowilla, Breath of the Willa, Marvilla, Ultimate Alaya, Blylega, Luigi, I mentioned.
That's enough.
That's that.
Hello.
Yeah, we watched Iron Man 2 last night.
Iron Man 2, shut it down.
Yeah.
Did somebody say shut it down?
Yeah, John Cheadle. War Machine.
Don Cheadle?
Yeah.
Not John Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. I was gonna say John, like...
John...
I almost said John Cheadle. It was like a mixture of Tatum